If you're currently exploring spirituality or you're starting to explore it, but there's a part of you that is apprehensive to do so because there's a concern about losing the parts of yourself and the parts of your life that you actually enjoy, then this video is for you. I'm going to share into what I did to overcome this myself, speak into how it's actually possible to do this, and I'll share with you what you can do to find the painless harmony between the two so that you can have the parts of your life that you enjoy and explore the spirituality that has been calling you at some level. Hi, my name is David. I am co-founder of the Sex.Prayers Academy, a space where we invite learning everything that's needed to be known in order to enjoy healthy relating, because we recognize that this isn't stuff we were taught growing up. And I don't know about you, but my parents, as great as they did in producing this person in front of you, they had their challenges as well. And I've inherited some of them and have spent the last decade plus consciously working through them so that I can have the healthiest relationship that I've ever had. And our desire at Sex.Prayers, our spiritual vision is global harmony, recognizing that by creating the harmony within, we can then find harmony with our surroundings, including our partner, and then that allows for global harmony throughout society. But I digress. This video is speaking into how several people I've been in contact with in the last 2 weeks have expressed their concern around exploring spirituality. And in part of that being, they're recognizing that they're going on this journey and they have this desire to continue on it. And they don't want to lose the parts of their life that they enjoy. They have careers, they have families, they have things that they want to keep. And I get where this apprehension comes from because I was the same. I've been studying and practicing yoga for the last 10 plus years, been studying classical tantric philosophy for the last 5 years. And when I first started, 10 years ago as a teacher, I got lost in that idea that becoming a yogi meant giving up the things that I enjoy most in life, or at least moving in that direction. You know, went from someone who ate meat every day to someone who then went vegetarian to then going vegan for a few years, partly my own desire, but partly fueled by the partner that I was with at the time, also a yoga teacher. And having this misguided idea that by being a yoga teacher or by being a yogi, that meant I necessarily had to give up some of the things in my life because they weren't what yogis do. And part of that was food, part of that was lifestyle. I'm fortunate that I didn't grow up drinking alcohol or consuming drugs until later life when it was a conscious choice. So those vices weren't present. But there is this idea in yoga of conservation of energy. And having discernment of what it is that's going in and out of the body. And for me, part of that conversation was also energetic, what was going in and out. So sexual exchange being part of that, and also the exchange of money, this currency that we all use. And having to reconcile how to be successful in life and business and be deep within a spiritual path, a journey into spirituality and an active spiritual and yogic practice. And it's been challenging. And the only reason I feel like I am where I am now is because of the classical tantric studies that I've been doing the last 5 years. Because the tantric path isn't one about being a yogi, a renunciant yogi, being a yogi that has to give up everything to go and live in a cave. Now, I did give up everything to travel to the other side of the world. That was my version of that. But it's not a necessary one, is the point I'm trying to make. At least not in the tantric path. The tantric path isn't a renunciate's path. It's an integrative path. It's about integrating the spiritual teachings into daily life. It wasn't about renouncing one's life and going and living in a monastery. It was being part of a community, yes, but then understanding the teachings to be able to weave them into your life that already exists. Now, part of the interesting journey of that is the deeper I found I was going into my spiritual practice, I became more aware of what was true for me, the things that I actually genuinely wanted, rather than the things I had been programmed or conditioned to believe that I desired. And in that sense, there was an alignment and a falling away of certain aspects or things in my life, yes, but what I gained in return was so much more. And so it was a welcomed sacrifice, if you will. And that's not to say that's not challenging. It's been challenging letting go or pruning parts of my ego, parts of myself and my consciousness that have been out of alignment. And really, it's still a work in progress. I think that's the spiritual journey. It's unless you're a totally embodied, enlightened being, I think I have the belief and the knowledge to realize now that it's an ongoing journey and that there are stumbles at times, but it's about how quickly you get back on rather than never falling off. And this is why I actually really love the tantric path. It's one that I mentioned about this integrativeness of you're allowed to have, oh, there's a fly. You're allowed to enjoy worldly enjoyments. It's part of the practice. It's the honoring of the divine feminine, the creative essence of the universe, being able to have the enjoyment of sensory experience. That's part of the gift of the human experience. And the idea in tantric teachings, it's not about sacrificing that. It's not about renouncing it. It's not about transcending it. It's about integrating it. It's about enjoying those things with the understanding that what has come first and primarily is a recognition of the divinity that exists within all things, that within oneself there is that divine universal consciousness, that God spark, if you will, that we are simply the universe in the microcosm of this body that we inhabit. Put another way, we are all just different waves on the ocean of the one consciousness. That we are, if the universe has the soul that is consciousness and the body that is the manifest reality we experience, then we are a cell in that organism. The powers of God reside within us as us. And in understanding that, not just intellectually with the knowledge, but from an embodied place, then comes the opportunity to enjoy all of the things in life. Because it comes with the understanding that it's being enjoyed through conscious choice. It's not controlling us, but we are in control of our experience of it, how we choose to experience it. And So maybe this is you. Maybe right now you're exploring your spirituality, or you have a desire to, and there's this apprehension of not wanting to let go of the things that you value in life, not wanting to alienate the people at work or in your family or in your community, and really not wanting to have to give up on the things that actually bring you pleasure. Um, well, you don't have to. You don't have to. It's just understanding how. The reason a lot of people do give up all of these things is because it's the easier way. There's something in the teachings. I can't remember exactly the phrasing, but it was something like it's the it's the complicated way, or it's the tempting way, the tempting path, something like that, the tantric way, because this idea of no, you can experience these things, and with that experience comes the risk, obviously, of it consuming us. We have our vices, we have our addictions, drugs, drink, sex, relationship, working out. That was one of mine. Money seems to be one for a lot of people. And so by giving up these things, these vices, these drugs, if you will, it's a great way to ensure that they don't have that hold of us. However, with the desire, the will to enjoy life from a healthy place, the right knowledge in how to actually do that, the appropriate action, and the support from those who've walked that path, that can really allow for the integration of the two, to embrace the spirituality that for some reason, we know why, a different video, some reason a part of you is being pulled towards, and to enjoy the sensory delights that is the gift of the human experience. That is the family. That is the nice things. That is a drink, and from time to time a vice, because it's done in a healthy way, and it's not mistaken for essentially, it's not handing over identity to that thing so much so that it becomes us and controls us, and we lose a sense of ourselves, so much so that we get lost in the source, if you will, chasing the highs that those things offer us. But with the tantric path, there's a way of integrating the two. And so I offer to you as a takeaway, if you are exploring your spirituality and not wanting to let go of the things that you value, then why not sit down and speak, or even write out what it is about the things that you love that you're afraid of losing. Write them down, what it is that you truly love about them, so that you can find the underlying truth. Underlying truth is really important to us. At Sex.Prayers, we recognize these pillars of conscious intimacy, truth being the first. And by unraveling the layers, going through the layers, we get to the essence of our truth, what it is that we really, at our core, value. And by understanding that truly, there's the opportunity to discern, to choose whether or not the thing that represents that truth, that core essence that's wanting to be expressed through that tool of whatever it is that you might love, can be connected with and ensured and chosen consciously that it's something that you want to maintain and keep in your life. Because it might be that in closer inspection, I just really love chocolate. I really, really love chocolate. I just don't want to give that up. Okay, but why do you love chocolate? I use mine. Exercise. I was addicted to exercise. And I recognized after a lot of introspection that it's one of my fastest ways to really get out of my head and into my body. I'm really present when I'm working out. I'm really with myself and in tune with flow. And that feels great. And as a reflector, I'm very much in my head a lot of the time. And so having the opportunity to get out of that and into my body, it's one of the reasons I value other things as well in my life, is what that afforded me. However, I became so addicted essentially to that I began using that tool in an unhealthy way, and that has led to suffering mentally, emotionally, physically, and relationally. So understanding what it is that's at the core of the things that we value then invites us to choose how we want it to show up in our life. And that's really the tantric way, is you get to enjoy it, and you're encouraged to enjoy it. In fact, it's more enjoying it from a place that is in the utmost alignment of what is beneficial for you and for the people around you, your community, so that it gets to be fully enjoyed and not be attached to anything that might create suffering in other areas of your life. So that's the invitation, to write down whatever it is that you're wanting to keep in your life, to really understand the underlying essence of that, and then to come at that from conscious awareness as you continue to go down your spiritual path. I don't know what spiritual path you might be navigating right now. If it is the tantric path, then amazing, so good. I've got other videos where I'm exploring the teachings more at the moment, and I interweave everything into what I do, especially in person and online. This is really what mind yoga is. It's the fusion of tantric teachings with the modern tools of hypnotherapeutic practice, and getting to massage out the mental, emotional knots so that they allow us to navigate freely through life. And this is what we weave into in the Pillars to Partnership program in Sex.Prayers and at the Academy too. So enjoy that. See where that takes you. And if you're interested in learning more, drop something in the comments section, reach out. I'm always welcoming people who are curious to learn more.